All right, what's up, YouTube? This is your guy, Travel Guru VT. Just coming back. We're gonna do the episode one wrap up or recap rather of our first flight deals based travel series. I went nonstop from Boston Logan Airport to Myrtle Beach Airport, nonstop both ways. I used 2,000 Spirit miles. That was the airline I used, so I used 2,000 Spirit miles and $44, I believe, and some change. The flight without, if I wouldn't have used miles, it would have been like 60, 65, maybe $68 top. So either way, it was a good deal. And for those of you that are just tuning in, seeing this video or seeing anything on this channel for the first time, make sure you like, subscribe, comment. And to those of you that are already following us on Snapchat at Travel Guru VT, you got to see the trip, in real time, scene by scene, minute by minute. If you don't subscribe to the Snapchat, I encourage you to do so. Think of it as like the B side of this flight based travel series with a lot more extras that we don't post on YouTube right now. But yeah, the trip was great. I woke up about an hour later than I was supposed to, so I got on the road late. And I don't drive to the airport. I drive to a shuttle that takes me to the airport because I'm about a little over 3 hours away from that airport. But the shuttle is easy and convenient. But I ended up having to go to the next stop to catch the shuttle so I could, get back on track, due to me leaving late. But that all worked out. Now, the people that saw this on Snapchat, you saw that where I talked about I bid on. I didn't do seat selection when I first booked the trip, but they sent me an offer in the email, and that was I believe I had the opportunity to bid on an exit row seat going, a front seat or a big seat coming back, and an exit row seat coming back. So I bid $7 on the exit row seat leaving, and my bid was accepted a couple hours before takeoff, which was great. Get up to 10 extra inches of leg room in those seats. And my bid for the big seat, or what is the Spirit's version of a first class seat, that bid did not get accepted, but I did get accepted for the $3 bid on an exit row seat on the way back. So, either way it worked out, I had, great leg room and whatnot on the trip. As far as when we got to town, I got to town a little afternoon. I called or sent for an Uber, Lyft, actually used the Lyft. Got to the hotel, room wasn't ready. The hotel was the Sandcastle Inn, I believe. It was pretty decent for the price. I think roughly around $70-ish a night with tax. They didn't have breakfast, but they did have hot coffee and tea in the morning, but that was fine. They had a nice convenience store down a couple blocks over, and you can DoorDash anything you want in that area if you don't rent a car. It's a very walkable area. But the hotel was oceanfront. It was, just perfect location, perfect timing. They had an indoor pool that was heated. They had some jacuzzis they weren't indoor, but they were outside under the cement ceiling, if you will, next to the heated pool. They also had a lazy river in there. That was pretty nice. I didn't see a lot of people using it, but it was, still something good to have nonetheless at that hotel. There's a gang of hotels on that strip, and it's kind of off season, but it was fairly warm there, about high 60s to mid 60s while I was there. So it was decent. You could get away with just the light hoodie if you're a cold person, generally, or if you're warm blooded, then you could have got away with shorts and been just as comfortable. But it was real great. I didn't eat a lot while I was there. I think I kind of overdid it. I went to Popeyes in Myrtle Beach, and the food was amazing. I ended up getting two combos. I got the like the shrimp combo deal they have going right now for $5.99. And then I got another combo that was like $12. It came with wings and chicken tenders and some sides. But overall, that was great. If you haven't seen that video, check it out on the profile for the page. Again, if you do not subscribe to our Snapchat channel, I encourage you to do that. Travel Guru VT. You'll get a lot of B footage, a lot of play-by-play real-time stuff. I really think it would be of benefit to you if you subscribe to it, and you'll get to see things from all different sides. But I'm really glad that this first episode was a success. Boston and Myrtle Beach and back. I only stayed one night, but I checked deals for that whole weeks before. So you could have did 2, 3, 4 nights, and it would have been roughly around that same price, $60 to $70 round trip, nonstop, both ways, without miles. So, like I said, this is geared toward people that feel like they don't have the time to travel or can't afford to travel. So I'm here to help you out and prove to you that you can, and don't believe all the myths and stuff about Spirit. It's a great airline as long as you know the rules and know how to play the game. You'll have no problem and a great experience every time. A little unrelated, but I'll touch on it anyways because I was reading some stuff about this. For people that knock the Spirit big seats or the Spirit first class section, that seat is the same seat that you would get on a domestic first class flight from United, Delta, American, whatever. A nice standard first class domestic seat. Plenty of leg room, plenty of space, extra comfortable. If sometimes the prices are a little iffy on those, so you can buy them outright when you're booking if you want, or after booking before a flight. But me personally, if the price isn't where I want it to be when I'm booking, I'll usually wait for that bid email to come around a week or two before takeoff and put my bid in. And they don't charge your card. If you do bid on a seat, they don't charge your card until your bid is accepted. So just keep that in mind if you do end up bidding on seats. I had some people hit me up on Snap and ask about the luggage situation, and I think some people might have missed that particular part of the video on Snap, but I'll go ahead and get into it. There's a suitcase that is made, well, the dimensions for their personal item that you can bring for free is, I believe, 18 inches by 14 inches by 4 inches. So, it's basically a small duffel bag, small backpack, a purse, a laptop bag, something of that nature. But there's this great company called Takeoff Luggage, and they make a hard shell suitcase that is those exact dimensions. The suitcase is made for Spirit Airlines personal item size. It's about $110, but it is worth it because you can fit, anywhere 2, 3 to 5 days worth of clothes in there, depending on how you like to pack. And, you put all your stuff in that. You don't have to worry about the carry-on fees and the check bag fees. And, those can get expensive. I believe there's somewhere around 50 to 60-ish one way. So you'd be looking at, over $100 round trip if you did a check bag, if you have no status with Spirit. But that suitcase is amazing. I encourage anyone that if you want to start doing these flight-based travel deals on Spirit, I encourage you to get that suitcase. It's going to pay for itself with your first round trip. Some other things I wanted to touch on about the trip was see, we've talked about the flight itself, the food. The crew was great on both flights. Actually, on the way back, we had a real bubbly flight attendant, and they ended up doing some chair yoga on the flight on the way back, which was really interesting. I had never experienced that on a Spirit flight before, but it was great to see, and we have footage of that up on YouTube right now as well. And they also did like a trivia thing, and then if you got the question or the riddle right, you ended up getting 1,000 free bonus points, that you could put in your account towards your next trip. So that was really good. I actually got one of those questions right, and I got 1,000 bonus points. Well, the voucher said 1,000 bonus points, but when I went in to add it to my account, it actually gave me 2,000 points. So that was a nice surprise as well. So, and for Spirit points, you can start redeeming them for flights at 2,500 miles. That's the lowest flight that you can book, outright, just using points, no cash. So that's something to keep in mind too. If you want to do this, go ahead and sign up for that free Spirit account. Start getting your points for the for your flights. I believe it's 6x points on base fares, and if you buy extras such as bags, seats, things of that nature, you get 12x points. So definitely learn the game. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up. But you can definitely go a lot of places and do a lot of things with Spirit. Um, Once again, I'm glad this episode was a success. Episode 1. Episode 2 is going to be in roughly a week and a half, 2 weeks. We're going to be going nonstop again, both ways from Boston Logan Airport to Charlotte, North Carolina. So that's going to be, really interesting. Look out for that. Hopefully, we'll find, some really good food in the area. Something else I wanted to touch on is how I build these flight-based deals for myself. I find the cheap flight first and, make sure it works with my schedule. Then once that part is figured out, then I start the hotel search, and I use Expedia.com. And if you go to our website, www.travelguruvt.com, I have affiliate links for Expedia.com, hotels.com, Verbo, and Viator for activities. But definitely, if you're going to book something, I encourage people to book flights direct with the airline, because if something changes, it's a lot easier to get it fixed if you book flights direct with the airline. But as far as hotels, if it's a non-resort hotel, I have no problem using Expedia, hotels.com. If you're looking for a more homey kind of place for your trip, I encourage you to use Verbo. I like them a little bit better over Airbnb for a few reasons. So definitely keep that in mind. If you're going to book, there's no fee to book with us. It's just as if you're booking with Expedia or whatever, go onto their website. But if you just click through our link, we get a small commission that helps us keep funding these trips. So just keep that in mind. But back to what I was saying, I base the trip off the flight, find the flight, then I find the hotel. In order to keep costs down, I first look for hotels that have a free shuttle from the airport. So you're not spending a bunch of money on Uber and Lyft, trying to get to and from while you're in town, as well as wherever you're going to go while you're in town for your trip. So definitely keep that in mind. Now, sometimes that doesn't always work out. Most of the time it does. I'll find a decent hotel that has a free airport shuttle. But if it doesn't, I encourage you, flip the sort thing from low to high. As for Expedia, I feel like if the hotel is at least a 7.2 out of 10, it's usually pretty decent. I always read the reviews before I book anything, just to make sure it's on the up and up overall. And I sort the reviews by most recent. But yeah, if you can't find hotel that has a free airport shuttle, then just find a hotel that you like that's within your price range. And I personally use Lyft most of the time, but you can just type in where you're going to and where you're coming from in the Lyft app without actually booking the ride, and it'll give you real time pricing on how much it would cost you to get from, say, the airport to whatever hotel that you book. So you can know in advance, hey, I need $12 to get from the airport to this Verbo or this hotel that doesn't have a shuttle, and vice versa. So definitely keep that in mind. As far as food, I always look at restaurants in the surrounding area. Once again, I'm up in Vermont, so there is some fast food here, but there isn't a lot, fast food and chains. So when I go out of town, it's kind of a little guilty pleasure that I have, hit up a chain that that they don't have here. It's real nostalgic for me. But I always look at what's around the hotel, so if I can find something that's walkable or a cheap lift, from the hotel once I get there, then I'm game for that. But yeah, so flight, hotel, transportation, food, and then activities. I look on Viator. We have a link for Viator as well. If you want to book any activities for your trips, we get a little commission off that to keep funding these trips for you guys and making these awesome videos. But you can type in the city, and it'll pop up with every possible activity that is available around there during your dates. And I've used Viator for activities in Hawaii and other places, and Viator is great. They clearly spell out when you're about to book an activity, what is included, what isn't included, what's recommended, so you can't go wrong booking through Viator. And Viator is also good for airport transfers as well. If you're going to certain places and you can't find a Lyft, or they don't have Lyft or Uber, in that area, Viator is good for that. I have a friend that's looking to go to Iceland, and there was only a couple hotels that had free airport shuttles, but my friend wants, real nice hotel in Iceland and, in a certain area, so they can be close to certain activities. So we ended up, doing a little research on the trip and it turns out that on Viator, they had airport transfers readily available too for a reasonable price. So Viator is a good resource as well. Everything is on the website, that you would need to book the best trip possible. And people ask, how do you find your flight deals? A lot of people use Hopper and things like that. Me, I am strictly Google Flights. It is so effective. And when I'm searching, I don't do specific dates offhand. I'll just put in the airport I want to leave from and put anywhere from my destination. I'll play around in the map. If I see a fare that looks attractive, I'll click on it, and then I usually have it set to any time in the next 6 months, 1 week. But once you pick your destination, you can go in and play with the dates on the calendar, and it'll show you how much it would be from this day to this day, whatever. So I definitely like the functionality and the ease of using Google Flights to find all these deals. But yes, within a couple weeks, we have Charlotte, North Carolina coming up. Then the first weekend in April, I believe, we're going to be doing something else. We're going to be doing a week at a resort in New Hampshire, Still Hill Resort in Sanborn, New Hampshire. That's another series we're going to have going. Those are more of my family-based trips. We go to timeshares affiliated with RCI and, do a review on those places. This particular resort, I've actually been there before for my honeymoon, and it's great. But, we were just on our honeymoon when we went. So this time it's going to be a little different. We're going to have all the kids with us. So definitely give you a nice family style review on Still Hill. After that, I think a couple weeks later after Still Hill, St. Thomas is on the agenda. Be on the lookout for that. That's going to be really special, really magical. And also after, I think a week or two after St. Thomas, we're going to be out in Nashville. And that was another deal that we found through Google Flights using Spirit Airlines. So we definitely have a lot coming up and a lot more stuff coming up down the road after those trips. But just keep in tune with us, check the channel often. We're always putting up shorts. Feel free to like, subscribe if you found any value from this video. Feel free to share with your friends, and we're out.